Reading out information today related to this Star Trek episode, Elaan of Troyius. Cut from the episode was a scene in the ship's recreation room where Kirk, McCoy, Uhura, and Spock meet and discuss how to calm Elaan. Uhura suggests using the sound of Spock's Vulcan harp to calm her. The music is later heard piped into Elaan's cabin. This episode features the first appearance of the D7 class Klingon battlecruiser designed and built by Star Trek art director Walter M. Jefferies. The footage of the Klingon battlecruiser was reused in subsequent episodes of the third season. France Nguyen had previously starred with William Shatner on Broadway for 2 years in the title role of the world of Susie Wong. She would later guest star along with Shatner as husband and wife in the Kung Fu Season 3 episode A Small Beheading. This is the last episode lit by cinematographer Gerald Finneman, who had been with the show since the first episode. This episode is also the final appearance in the original series, as originally broadcast, of Eddie Paskey as Lieutenant Leslie. The episode's title character pays tribute to Helen of Troy from Homer's Iliad, and its plot borrows from William Shakespeare's comedy The Taming of the Shrew. Trek navigators Mark A. Altman gave the episode 2 stars, stating a thinly veiled version of The Taming of the Shrew. The episode is largely carried on the shoulders of William Shatner. The AV Club Zach Handlin rates Elaan of Troyius as a B, making note of character development and the unexpected ending. If he'd asked me to predict the rest of the episode after Elaan and Kirk hooked up, I would have guessed it would have something to do with Kirk interfering with the wedding. Instead, we get a nifty space battle against the Klingons, a traitor and the Elasians, an unexpected source of dilithium crystals, and a curiously muted performance from Shatner, but does a good job of conveying his internal struggle between feeling and duty without overselling it. Samuel Walters of DauntlessMedia.net rates the episode as a C-, citing a scattershot approach to the plot, which leaves too many possibilities unexplored and underdeveloped, and calling the entire episode flat. Popular and scholarly viewers alike express uncertainty if this episode was written with a feminist ethos in mind, mocking the perceived stereotypes of women at the time, or if the episode is just another portrayal of colonial and patriarchal depictions of women. The superficial depiction of Elaan as an exoticized, seductive, and stereotypically uncooperative feminine character has garnered scholarly discussions of whether Elaan is a pro-feminist or anti-feminist character within the history of Star Trek, a series known for its progressive characterizations, first primetime interracial kiss on TV, gay actors. Star Trek reviewer Jamal Epsikokhan responds to the episode with a lukewarm assessment, asserting the problem, or more specifically the running gag: Elaan is a terrible-mannered woman from a society short on manners. She must be taught in the ways of etiquette. Her teacher, after she stabs the first one, is James T. Kirk, naturally. Watchable, mostly brainless, middle-of-the-road fare. Elaan of Troyius is at its best when it shows Kirk balancing the approaches of diplomacy and forceful wording when dealing with the brat that Elaan is. Episcopan identifies Elaan as the antagonist of the story, a plot device that Kirk needs to overcome. Other scholars frame Elaan through a feminist lens. Joe R. Hodge, host of podcast Women of Warp, asserts that Elaan is othered, exoticized, and objectified. This technique, showing our women's body parts separately, before or instead of showing her face, is a classic example of objectification. This type of dismemberment depiction, as part of a larger culture, encourages men and women to see women as a collection of parts rather than of a whole. She cites Daniel Leonard Bernardi in Star Trek in History, Racing Toward a White Future, who claims that Elaan exemplifies two stereotypes about Asian women, starting off as a manipulative dragon lady and ending as the submissive female slave.